South Africa has been fortunate this past year in that the world economy has exceeded expectations in growing a lot faster than had been anticipated. The rapid rollout, and unexpectedly rapid rollout of vaccinations, as well as the massive fiscal and monetary relief injected into the global economy, has resulted in a big and substantial increase in commodity prices that South Africa exports. Obviously, it also imports oil, and oil prices have risen, but the revenue it receives from exporting coal, platinum group metals, gold, iron ore, and copper far exceed by about 3 to 4 times the amount that it pays out for oil. As a consequence of this, the profits of companies involved in extracting and producing these minerals has rocketed, and tax revenues have increased enormously. There's also been an added benefit of the restructuring of SARS and the ability to exact appropriate taxes from people more effectively than before, all of which has resulted in the government having 182 billion rand more available in tax revenue, which I think that figure could even be exceeded once we come to the end of the fiscal year. As to what government can do to actually use it, quite correctly, and the Minister of Finance has rejected thoughts of continuing to bank on that commodity price boom, and the budgets are based on no commodity price boom, in fact fall back in commodity prices in the interests of prudence. Under the circumstances, the government has refrained from embarking upon massive extra expenditures that it might otherwise have wanted to, and instead has chosen to use the balance of extra revenue to pay off debt. And the benefits are enormous. Take, for example, say that it's paid off 100 billion rands worth of debt. The interest on that is 9 to 10%, so it's saving itself 9 to 10 billion rand a year on interest payments that can be used more effectively elsewhere. As to why it's actually still agreeing on taking on other loans, I think a lot of that, the reason is linked to the interest rate payable on those loans. These loans that are being advanced to the government by the IMF, the World Bank and other bodies come at a very low interest rate of around 1%, 2% maximum, whereas if the government were to go out to the market locally, it would have to pay 9 or 10% interest on those loans. So it does make sense to try and source some of the loans that it incurs from foreign sources. The amount of foreign debt that government holds is actually fairly small in relation to its total debt, around 10 to 15% at most, and it can therefore afford to carry on borrowing a certain proportion of its debt from foreign sources rather than domestic sources, especially given the potential benefit of paying less interest on those debts than if it sourced them locally.